Hi everyone, I have another video for you guys, and today I'm going to be making a shaker card made out of sand. My favorite videos to watch on YouTube as far as card making goes, I really like to watch people make shaker cards because there's just so many ways you can make them, and I always tend to go for my fuse tool. Here I'm trying to go out of the norm and use some fun foam. However, this plan just didn't work. And I don't know why, but I fussed with this fun foam for way longer than I should have. Um, it wasn't going to work. I spared you on the amount of times I failed with this fun foam. I mean, if I were to film all of them, it probably would be a good 45 minutes worth of fussing. And I honestly don't know why, because in the back of my head, I knew I could use my fuse tool. I was just refusing. I'm one of those people that if something just doesn't work out for me, I have to figure out how it'll work, and I just don't think it'll ever work. But anyway, I did go ahead and use my fuse tool, but first I'm going to stamp this wooden stamp of some shells. I'm not sure where it's from, but if you leave a comment, I'll try to look it up for you, and I will reply back. Here's another stamp set. I'm going to stamp these little shells. At first I thought I put them inside the shaker, but the sand ended up covering these three shells, so I actually kept them and I put some in the inside and some on the outside of the card. Here I'm going to emboss them in some gold embossing powder because I do have a little bit of gold on my um, designer paper. And then I'm also going to stamp from the same stamp set some seagulls in some memento, and I'm going to emboss those in some clear embossing powder. And then I actually hand cut these guys. It wasn't too hard. I'm not much of a cutter, I'm left-handed, and it's a struggle for me. So these were pretty easy to cut, luckily. In case you're wondering, I do make all my cards in multiples, so that's why there's so many stamped. So I'll just go ahead and heat those up and cut them out. Okay, now I'm going to attach my piece of acetate to this window here. And then next I'll add the fun foam. I did keep the fun foam fail in here because I just wanted to show that this kind of thing happens all the time for me, and I'm sure it happens for a lot of other people. Sometimes it just doesn't work the way you had it in your head. Unfortunately, that does happen a lot for me, but I always kind of find an alternative way and improvise on what I have. Here I'm trying to see if I like those seashells, but when I was starting to shake everything around, they just got buried, like I said. So here I'll add the fun foam, add some tape. And here we go. So happy, so excited, and then this happens. Yep, it doesn't always work out. So now I'm going to switch over to the fuse. And I've explained this a few times in my videos. All I do is use the fuse to attach two pieces of acetate. These two I cut with the bigger Sizzix die from the window card. And I'm just gluing them together on the three sides, and I'll leave one open to put some sand into. I think this is a really great idea, especially for like project life or scrapbooking. If you go to the beach and then, maybe take some sand and do this, this is a great idea. And it really keeps in all of your sand. Like with the fun foam, it was just sliding either above it or below it. I don't think there's any way that it would have worked. So the fuse is great for small, tiny things like this. Here I'm just double checking that everything is good, that nothing is falling out, and then I will seal it up. My edges don't really look clean. I just have to make sure that nothing is falling out. And you won't see this, so better safe than sorry. Okay, and I decided I want a border around the window. So here I'm just going to make a frame with the same size die as my window and then a smaller one. And oh my gosh, who remembers these things? They were really trendy a few years ago. I'm kind of late on the game, but I really wanted to incorporate more gold. I wanted the whole nautical theme, red, blue, I guess white and gold, but I actually used cream, not white. But I like nautical red and gold more than blue and white. So I incorporated all four colors in this card. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble the card. Here's my little bag, and I'm going to tape it down on top of the seashells. On some of the bags, I went a little bit crazy and I put too much sand where it actually covered most of the image. And here I put it up too high, so I'll just take it down. And I actually ripped the paper, but it was fine because the window goes on top. And I attached the window using foam dots. And I only put 4, but I recommend putting 8, putting some in between. But this worked out. And then I will put the border on. Before I do that, I wanted to add something in the middle. I don't know if you would have though, because I have the seashells, I have the sand, but I needed a sentiment. And I actually don't have any sentiments that are beach related. So I actually cut these from my Cricut. I cut them in the cream, but I think the cream kind of just blended in with the paper that I stamped the shells on, so I used my Copics and colored them gray. And I'll use my zig and just attach it right over the acetate. So now the shells are really, really in the background, but I think they're kind of cool because if you really, you know, look inside, you will see that they're shells and people will notice that you put a lot of effort into this. And then here I'll attach the border, and then I like to put a heavy block because zig, I don't know, for some reason, it likes to go moving everywhere. And here I'll add the seagull under the ahoy. And then I wanted to incorporate more red, so I took this twine, tied a bow, and remember those little shells that we stamped and embossed earlier? Well, I'm going to use them now. And I used the starfish for the middle of the bow there. Again, these little details just like make a card for me. And that's the card finished on the front. In the inside, I stamped sunshine, and you'll see a picture of it at the end. So it kind of opens like ahoy sunshine. That was my intention there. And thank you for watching. Please leave me any comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!